got a video for you. So, favorite death metal albums from 1995. I think that's what I'm going to do. Listening to Incantation Upon the Throne of the Apocalypse, which technically is Lord of the Throne of the Nazarene, but backwards with a raw mix. This is my favorite version. This happened to be released in 1995, but I'm going to put it in as an honorable mention with several others. My favorite version of this. I absolutely love the sound of this. I like how it starts with the doomy ass track. Abolishment of Immaculate Serenity. So, honorable mentions. I'm gonna put this one in there. I just showed it in a video not too long ago. Imprecations, Thuragra Goetia Sumo, whatever the fuck it says. It's basically an EP or a compilation. Killer One, released in 1995. Add this one to it as well. Dissection, Storm of the Light's Bane, which is melodic death metal, but more on the blackened side. I know the black metal community would say this is more on the death metal side, but to me, it's more on the black metal side. I love this album, but honorable mention. Fucking car shit. And another EP by In Flames, Subterranean. Countless nights listening to this when it first came out. Love this album. Stand Ablaze is my favorite track on it, and I believe the dude from Dawn actually sings on that track. This has some bonus songs on it, which I love their version of Eye of the Beholder by Metallica. And I really love Murderers in the Rue Morgue, their Iron Maiden cover. This is awesome, but honorable mention. Seems like I'm ducking down. I need to sit back. Black Coffee in a stein, a glass stein. But anyway, let's get on with this. So, coming in at number 13, hopefully I don't fuck these numbers up. Vader, De Profundis. I was just listening to this just a minute ago, and it could possibly go higher on my list, but this is where it's at. So I was listening to this earlier tonight, and I was just really digging the riff. Really love this album. I'm a huge Vader fan, but this one right here made the list. It's just an amazing album. This is a reissue, I believe. My wife found this for me at the record store, brought it home, and I about shit my pants. Excuse the visionary shit in the pants words, but that's some cool ass freaking vinyl. Vader, Polish Legends. Phenomenal album. Phenomenal. 1995 had some awesome freaking albums, I'm telling you. Everybody, for some reason, thinks 95 is when death metal started fading out. A lot of bands were experimenting. I think some of the best death metal albums came out in 95. Another one I've shown many times. Xenomorph Imperial Regimes, band from Nebraska. This is some, I guess, a little bit of a blackened sound to it, a little bit, but it's brutal as fuck. I think maybe it's the vocalist brings that edge to it. And then especially when you see this photograph of the band. There it is. Actually, looks like Mordant Red's right there. Hey, Mordant Red, go back in time and kick his ass. He took your clothes. Jokes. But yeah, this is a killer freaking album. I always thought it was released in '96 for some reason, but whenever I typed out the death metal album so I wouldn't fuck things up, this one popped up. So on Blood Harvest, just absolutely wicked ass death metal. I have a lot of vinyl, probably half and half CDs. Some Dutch death metal, Sinister's Hate album. You know, I listened to it tonight and it wasn't hitting me like it usually does. I'm not sure if it's because of the production on it, but I mean, still, I really freaking love this album, especially Embodiment or Chaos. Unseen Darkness is another good one. 18th Century Malice. That's a good album. This is one of those Cosmic Key Cosmic Key reissues with the Super Jewel case, which is kind of pretty cool. I need to get this one on wax, finish my Sinister collection, but forgot where I'm at, so was this number 10? Yeah, never mind. It's number 11, 13, 12, 11. Hate the numbering shit, but I'm doing this in the rankings, so killer one. Another one, which I've shown many times, Apoplexy, Tears of the Unborn, which this is very melodic, almost to a point where if you take Symbolic by Death and maybe Opeth's Orchid and combine them together, that's what you get right here. Songs not as long as Opeth's songs, but they still have quite a bit of a progression to them. I really dig the little instrumental interludes in between tracks, acoustic guitar and different stuff, but I really love the guitar tone on this. It's very unique. I've never heard a guitar tone like this before. So the band's from Czechoslovakia. Just an absolute banger right here. $19.95. I was so stoked when I saw this. Memory, I think, is one of the instrumentals. Forgive me, it's a little early in the morning. But I think my favorite tracks on this is Deceptive Imagination, Confined Shadows, Averted Face of Humanity, Crying Sea is really good, and the outro to this, Reanimation, is really cool. Love the artwork to this as well. Just a fantastic death metal album from 1995. Put this one in here too. I'm not going to keep numbering them until I get closer to the end. 6 Feet Under, Haunted, which recently, I've had this album for a while now, but I could never really get into it. I'm not sure what it was for the longest freaking time. And then I heard Maximum Violence when I got on cassette a couple of weeks ago, and then started getting into 6 Feet Under. So this album kind of has like a Cannibal Corpse obituary sound to me. I think it was Dreadful Rick that commented on my post something about obituary, and as soon as he said that, the very first track, yeah, there's some kind of obituary riffing in it for sure. It's on Metal Blade. I've been listening to this one a lot lately, and really freaking starting to dig it a lot. Can't really see the tracks on it, so I don't have the song titles memorized. But this is a banger. The more I listen to it, the better it gets. It's a little fold out here with the tombstone and cool lyrics there. Killer album. Just took a little bit to grow on me, but it definitely made the list. Next one up, I got more vinyl, but the vinyl seemed to be more at the top. At the Gates, Slaughter of the Soul. You know, when this first came out, it took a couple listens to get into it, and then the more I listened to it, the more I freaking appreciated all the melodies and stuff. And then it started getting me down a path where I was picking up a lot of melodic death metal. But this is the original. Well, I'd say Carcass Heartwork is the original, but this is one of the first that kicked it all off. And just a killer one, killer freaking album. I need to get the reissue, because I believe the reissue has a bunch of bonus tracks, and I think they did a Slayer cover on it. I want to get it, but yeah, this is a fantastic album. Every track, there's not a slouch on this album. Yeah, At the Gates, Slaughter of the Soul, and killer one. Just keep on going down this path. I just showed this one not too long ago, my Doom, but it's got to be on this list. It's one of my favorite Death Doom albums of all time, released in 1995, Ceremonium. I forgot the name of the fucking album right at the beginning. In the Autumn Shade. Into the Autumn Shade. God damn it. Not gonna go into detail. When I first heard this, I've talked about it so many times, but I've recently picked this up. Actually, my wife found it for me not too long ago, but it's just one of those death metal albums that, especially Death Doom, that just really brings out autumn. It's one of my favorite albums to listen to in November. Love that artwork, but I could go on for days about this album, but I need to move on. So yeah, Ceremonium, Into the Autumn Shade. Remembered it that fucking time. Now I'll get into the tough ones. Man, this is tough. All these albums I'm getting ready to show, which I was just talking about, Opeth, Orchid on the Apoplexy. I listened to this earlier tonight, and it took me to another place. Oh my goodness. That feeling when you first hear an album that just really grabs your attention. And I've heard this album for years. It's one of my favorite Opeth albums. But tonight, it just, like I said, took me to another world. I loved every freaking minute, every note. I love how they mixed the melody and the death metal and had these acoustic interludes and all this stuff. The tracks went on forever, and sometimes some of the tracks I just didn't want them to end. I love the clean vocals that come in. It's just an amazing album from 1995, especially melodic death metal. One of my favorites. My Arms Are Hearse is actually my favorite Opeth album, but this would be number 2 if I made a ranking. Amazing album. Man, 1995 really had some freaking gems. This is beautiful artwork too. Amazing album. Now I can just freaking talk. I almost want to shoot the video over again, but I'm just going to keep on going. So here comes the tough shit. God dang. This is tough. The top 5. Goodness. Okay, so I made a decision. This was either 4 or 5. That's what I was looking at. So Dismember, Massive Killing Capacity. Another melodic Swedish death metal album, in my opinion. Very catchy. Absolutely adore this freaking album. There's like a never flowing stream, and this one's my favorite too. Dismember albums, other than the self-titled, but my goodness, I love this album so much. I Saw Them Die on Frozen Fields. I really dig that one. War Dead. There's one track where I think it's called Nenia, and then maybe it's Life, Another Shape of Sorrow. I love all the music they put into that and thought. This is a very well structured death metal album from 1995. Number 5. We'll listen to this right after this video. Goodness, this is tough. Of course, 1995. It's a pretty badass fucking year for death metal. Don't you agree? Pierced from Within by Suffocation. I remember when this album came out. Oh, it stayed my CD player because I have bought it on CD first. For weeks, I listened to this thing. And my favorite track on this, honestly, is Torn Into Enthrallment. I love that they used clean tone guitar, and it's something that you normally don't hear from a brutal death metal band. Or I don't know if they've ever done clean tone guitar in any other albums, but the first couple albums I know they didn't until this, and I love that. Pierced from Within, Thrones of Blood, Depths of Depravity, Suspended in Tribulation, Breeding the Spawn. I love that redo on this. Absolutely fantastic album. I might have to flip that disc over. But this is Listenable Records reissue. I was so stoked when I saw that was available, and it immediately went in my cart. My CD, I'm not sure where it's at, so one of these days I'll look for it. Hidden in the shit. Nice gold. Let's flip this fucker over. And man, this is tough. Yep. Number 3 is Once Upon the Cross. Another album when it came out. It was very tough to take it out of the CD player. I mean, man, these albums are freaking so good. Literally, my favorite Deicide album would technically be the album after this one, Serpents in the Light, but this one's very close second. Legion, of course, and the debut. But this one, whenever I first heard it, and I swear you hear thunder, and I can picture Jesus on a cross, and then he goes, "Why have you forsaken me?" And then goes into that riff. Pure genius. Once Upon a Cross, which I never had on wax, and I wish I did. But the CD will do. Kind of gory. Not really much in this one, but killer fucking album. So number 3 is my Deicide, Once Upon the Cross. Amazing freaking album. And this is the toughest picks. God dang, this is tough. Try to do a ranking of your favorite death metal albums by year. That's a bitch. I think number 2 is going to be Symbolic by Death. Probably most of you know what number 1 is already. So I haven't shown any Morbid Angel, have I? Kind of gave it away, but this album, when it first came out, the vocals on this I love. The guitar work on this, some of my favorite death tracks are on this album. Crystal Mountain is one of them. perennial quest. I love that 8-minute track with the acoustic guitars. See the theme here? I think 1995 death metal bands kind of added more melody and maybe more atmospheric, cleaner guitar parts, and this one definitely had the melody in it, the hooky lyrics. A Thousand Eyes is another good one. Empty Words, Misanthrope. This is an absolute freaking banger. It's a Metal Blade reissue from a few years back. Got several copies of this album, but this is on that white. I think that's the only way they released it, but this album is just pure gold. I don't mean to dwell, but I just can't help myself. I love those lyrics. Reading the lyrics for that, and I don't know why I should pause, but fantastic album. Death, Symbolic, number 2. And number 1, I already said Morbid Angel. The only Morbid Angel album that came out in 95 would have been this, Domination. That's my number 1. I know there's a couple of people going, what? So Florida, I listened to this album when I lived in Ocoee, Florida, looking for a job. This album was just released and it was in my tape player. I think I drove an old Topaz and driving down Orange Blossom Trail looking for a job, and went to Winter Garden and Pine Hills and just couldn't find nothing. And this album takes me to that. And it was during the summer that I listened to this the most. With the windows, well, I guess in Florida it would have been March or April, but it would have been summertime for me down there. But I could smell the orange off the trees every time I hear this album. The storm, there was a hurricane one day, and I listened to this album while we kind of hunkered down, and this album goes perfect with a hurricane. I tell you that. There's not a bad track on this, and possibly my favorite tracks on this are definitely Inquisition, Burn With Me, Dominate, Eyes to See, Ears to Hear, Dawn of the Angry. I love the riffs in this. This Means War. I love the intro to Caesar's Palace. Dreaming. I love that little dungeon synth. And one of my all-time favorite tracks is on this as well, Where the Slime Live. And I know a lot of people don't like that track, but that's one of my favorite tracks on this album. I have the CD somewhere, and it's just a different art on it. I mean, everybody knows this. Just a cool sleeve on black. I love this album. I love it. Just such a great album. The lyrics kind of on this one's a little bit of a departure from their other stuff, but I think the lyrics actually fit this album well. Amazing album. Man, I love this album. Anyway, that's my favorite death metal albums of 1995. My top 13. Number 1, Killer One. We all know this. So hopefully this video was not too freaking stuttery. Couldn't find the words. It's basically 5:30 in the morning. I've had enough of this. But my love for death metal, we can keep on doing year by year if this does well, if you guys like it. Anyway, my goatee's all fluffy because I just woke up a little bit ago. Y'all have a great one. Later.